My name is Sylvia Owori. I'm the Director of Operations of Operation Wealth Creation. Today, Operation Wealth Creation is undertaking several trainings, and these are trainings for trainers. They own coffee. We're specifically doing the training because we want to mobilize the entire northern region to grow coffee. And over time, since 2013, Operation Wealth Creation has been giving out seedlings to people all over the country. But Northern Uganda got the smallest amount of seedlings because people were not interested in picking the seedlings because they preferred maybe cotton and other enterprises. But now they've all come together to embrace coffee. So we're working together with Dr. Pacho, under the Chief Justice, Alfonso Windolo, together with Ambassador Utunu, and we are working with the Office of the Prime Minister, the Ministry of Northern Uganda, Operation Wealth Creation. We are working with my the Ministry of Agriculture, and also the Research Center. We're also working with districts, the district local governments. And the Ministry of Agriculture should be the one taking the lead. As Operation Wealth Creation, we are coordinating everyone to ensure that this exercise succeeds. We would like to see coffee. We would like to see, as our mandate as Operation Wealth Creation, is to get people out of poverty. We would like to see the reduction of poverty within Northern Uganda. And mostly, it's very important to do the training because coffee planting is not the same as when you plant maize. You have to dig the holes. They must be a lot deeper, 3 by 3, and yet it requires a lot of work. So we have to train. If you don't get it right, a year or 2 years down the line, all your coffee will dry. So it's important that we train the trainers, and all the trainers that we are training are trainers from within the district. These are retired officers, retired teachers, people that are within the district. So you don't have to go to Kampala to get an extension worker. We're training them so that they can be on farm, and also model farmers so that they can do all their training within the district. First, as Operation Wealth Creation, the support mostly we are giving is mostly the coordination bit. But we are working with the Ministry of Water to make sure that the farmers, make sure that there's water for production. So that we are starting with the nursery bed operators. People have nursery beds. They are all going to get boreholes so that they have water. Now, as we are planning, and our plan and our target is to plant at least 1 million acres of coffee within Northern Uganda. So as we are planning, we have to make sure that we have water. We do the irrigation. Then we have to make sure there is enough, basically, fertilizer. So we are going to work with a lot of partners who can be able to bring the fertilizers, the training, all the extension services, but right to the farmer. Okay, our target is to plant 1 million acres of seedlings within the next 3 years. Within the next 3 years, there's a target. There was a coffee roadmap that was launched by His Excellency the President of Uganda in 2017. And the target for this was for Uganda to get 20 million bags, to export 20 million bags by 2013. Now, when we look at Northern Uganda, where they have vast land, Northern Uganda will be the last final bullet to help us reaching that target, given the fact that there's a lot of land that is basically available and is extremely fertile.
Well, one of the model farmers raised a concern that is it possible for Operation Wealth Creation to buy seedlings within the district and distribute it to the farmer?
What the plan for the buying and the distribution of the seedlings, the plan is to make sure the seedlings are within the region. So Acholi is going to support at least 30 nursery bed operators to support them, to make sure they have the right mother gardens, they have the right training centers, so that the seeds are coming locally, so that the resources are local. See, when you import seedlings from other parts of the country, they could get contaminated on the way here. They have various different soils than the soils here. So we are encouraging the farmers to make sure that they buy the seedlings within the region. So there are not so many nursery bed operators yet, But Nakori has a small budget to basically support the nursery bed operators so that the seedlings are within the region.
The pilot study started in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. And what is the real fact finding from the Operation Well Creations about the Acholi land? Is it profitable for growing coffee?
Yes, I would say Acholi land actually is very fertile, and the yields that come out from the coffee are much bigger than the ones for the rest of the country. The coffee that was distributed and is now covering almost 5,000 acres across the entire Acholi. At the moment they're harvesting, and you can see the coffee beans that are in Acholi are much superior than basically other regions, basically because the land is very fertile. And the other issue is that at the moment the country is generating an income of $1.6 billion through coffee. So Northern Uganda has an opportunity to actually also generate 1.6, just Acholi alone, and also with the land that they have, and also generate an extra $1.6 billion. Imagine how, if that kind of money also came within the region, imagine how that will change all the households within Northern Uganda.
After distribution of the coffee seedling, what do you see actually sub-regions in the next 3 years?
What I see Acholi sub-region changing from being the second poorest to one of the poorest to one of the richest within the next 3 years, as long as they get disciplined and they work and they work hard. All for us we have to do is basically support. Acholi is going to be totally transformed. I see industries, I see a lot of factories. During after the war, there was a lot of training with the NGOs, and they trained a lot of girls in tailoring. For example, me as a fashion designer, I've been working with a lot of young girls, and I've realized in Acholi alone, there's more than 15,000 young ladies that I can now put up a factory of clothing that can make clothes. So as we have import substitution and stop wearing second-hand clothes. So I see, in the time that I've been here, I see a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of labor. A lot of these women that are sitting around doing nothing, we're going to make sure they get employed to weave baskets, to weave crafts, to weave necklaces and beadings and stuff, so that we can be able to export. I see a lot of potential. Northern Uganda is a virgin place for us to play with, to make sure we get people out of poverty. The quantity, the farmer will be assessed by the district production officer and then the district water officer. They will assess, then they will decide which farmer the capacity that they need. If they don't have enough capacity, their capacity will be built by Nakori. Nakori will basically support them. But as we go along, knowing that this whole region we're going to grow coffee, government has to plan accordingly to make sure in the next financial year's budget they plan for water, for irrigation, so that eventually we irrigate and use even the dams that are already available, so that we can do the irrigation for the entire region, so that we can have a lot of production. And not only coffee, there's a lot of other enterprises we'll do, but we'll start one crop at a time and make sure it is successful.
Okay. Thank you so much.